Hey kids, if you've ever watched Salmonella, you'll know this video, The Hungriest Man in History, Tarrare. Tarrare was a Frenchman known for eating a lot. Now, an important fact to remember about Tarrare was that he was a soldier for the French army during the War of the First Coalition. As Salmonella pointed out, you've probably never heard of it, but it was a set of wars between literally everybody in Europe that lasted 5 years between 1792 and 1797. But recently I ran into something that nobody could have foreseen. Tarrare, a man known for eating literally anything, was an insane story. That's factual. But what if I told you that there was a man in the same period that fought in the same war and was just as hungry? A man who threw out all of his morals, nay, chewed them due to his hunger. A man that would not only challenge but destroy Joey Chestnut or Matt Stoney in any duel of food chugging. Let me introduce you to the Polish Tarrare, Charles Tarrare. Born in Bench, Poland around 1778, Charles was a regular boy, until he hit puberty and just went off the rails. At the age of 13, Charles began to have an extremely large appetite, but this wasn't only him, and he said his 8 other brothers had the same condition. Did you hear that? 9 kids. Imagine being a Polish peasant in the 1700s and having 9 kids that were all genetic super eaters. Despite Charles's unusual appetite in reaction to seeing food, Charles was pretty normal. He had a normal build and was actually 6'3", which was quite tall for the period. Doctors described him as having a pleasant countenance, which means face, unlike Tarrare, the monstrous-looking lard cake. Charles was also smart. Well, not smart, but smart by Polish peasants in the 1700s standards. And doctors and friends described him as having normal intelligence. So Charles ate a lot. I'll tell you the specifics later, but despite that, he never vomited, except for when he was force-fed boiled beef, which I'm sure is the common reaction to boiled beef. But overall, he was a healthy guy. Clean tongue, lively eyes, healthy pulse, good body temp, you know, the works. But there was one thing about Charles. Every night before going to bed, he would sweat profusely while laying awake. After falling asleep, he would awake soon after, feeling absolutely famished, despite whatever he ate earlier. So early morning, he would then eat literally anything he saw. This process would repeat, and he would awake early in the morning and just begin eating. At the age of 13, Charles joined the Prussian army, but they were struggling with their food supply, and this Charles couldn't take. So he decided to surrender to the French, who, after surrendering, gave Charles a melon, which Charles ate whole. Charles then enlisted in the French Revolutionary Army, the same army as Tarrare. At this point, I wonder if they ever crossed paths. I don't think they did, but I like to imagine that they ran off together and just ate. But what did Charles actually eat? Well, after going to an army camp near Paris, Charles began to get an urge to eat cats. He literally ate 174 cats in a single year, leaving only the skin and bone. And if Charles couldn't find any cats, the next best thing was grass. He would eat 5 pounds of grass if he couldn't find a cat. At one point on a boat, another sailor's leg was hit off due to cannon fire. And you know what that means. Snack time! Charles started eating the severed human leg, but another crew member took it and threw it into the sea. In 1778, Charles's boat was captured by the Royal Navy, and all its crew were placed in prison near Liverpool. I bet all the people who captured him had worse teeth than him. Wow, is he saying all English people have bad teeth? I'm extremely offended. While in prison, Charles was hungry, and 1 ration wasn't enough, so he was given the ration of 10 men every day. But he was still hungry, and you know the rats and cats were looking mighty scrumptious. And when other inmates didn't want to take their medicine, you know Charles was there to eat it up. And the medicine didn't affect Charles at all. He was completely fine. But what about dessert? You know Charles was eating all the candles in the prison. The English got mighty interested in Charles's appetite, and some doctors came to experiment on him. They woke him up at 4 a.m. and fed Charles 4 pounds of raw cow udder. I believe this is called tea time in England. Charles ate the udder extremely quickly. A couple hours later, Charles was given a pound of candles, 5 pounds of raw beef, and a bottle of beer, all of which Charles ate quickly. Later, Charles was fed the same meal and 2 more bottles of beer. In this time, Charles didn't release anything from any holes in his body, and the doctors only noted him as being in good cheer. No one knows what happened to Charles after all the prisoners of his ship were released, but most likely he stayed hungry. He came into the public spotlight again in 1852 when Charles Dickens said of Tarrare, "Now, it is in my opinion that a man like this, dining in public on the stage of Drury Lane, would draw much better than a mere tragedian who chose unsubstantial words instead of wholesome beef." It is suspected that Charles Tarrare was hungry for the same reason as Tarrare. It could be a damaged amygdala or polyphagia. No one knows. Anyway, this is the tale of the second hungriest man in history. Please sub and join my Discord below to give me ideas. I need them so badly.